Skip, I'm about to say something I hadn't said in 5 years. Of the 450 current NBA players, I just watched the best NBA player last night. I watched him play one of the greatest finals game in NBA history.
Wait a second. What about GOAT James?
Giannis is it.
It's over?
Now. Giannis is it.
Giannis is the best? Really?
Okay, it's very arguable. But right now, Giannis deserves to wear that crown.
And I think it needs to be said this morning. For the last 15 years, it always felt like LeBron had another gear he could shift to. This morning, I don't think he can shift to those two gears.
Neutrally, as I always try to do, even though I'm constantly accused of having an agenda, Giannis has checked every box. Giannis gets the title.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today I'm back with another video. Well, this time we're investigating who is the best player in the NBA and who is the face of the league. And in that intro, you saw 4 of the biggest LeBron James fans actually giving it to Giannis as the best player in the world. And for a rare time, I agree with all 4 of them. Giannis Antetokounmpo has to have the crown as the best player in the NBA. In this entire run, he averaged 30, 12, and 5, the only player ever to do that win the championship, let alone make the finals. In the finals, he averaged 35 points per game, scored 40 points 3 times, and capped it off with 50 in Game 6. I mean, how many players in NBA history could do that, and how many players in the current NBA could do that? It's a very, very small list, and Giannis is definitely near the top of that list. And I think you could make arguments for other players like LeBron James, but LeBron, he is getting older. He kind of flamed out in the playoffs. He may have been hurt, may have been injured. We don't really know how bad his injury was, and he could definitely come back next year and take the crown back, but I think it's pretty unlikely given his age and how many seasons he's played. Now looking at Kevin Durant, he lost to Giannis in the playoffs. He may have outplayed him, but in that Game 7, Giannis was better than him late in that game, especially in OT. And I think NBA fans as a whole will never give Kevin Durant the outright title as the best player in the world because he went to Golden State in 2016, joining a team that won 73 games. When you contrast that with Giannis, who stayed in Milwaukee, I think NBA fans will give Giannis way more credit for this one title than KD's 2 in Golden State. Also going further down the list, you have Kawhi Leonard, who's hurt. You have Luka, who's very talented, has a great future, but he's still very young, has had no playoff success. You have Jokic, the MVP, but he doesn't really play defense. You have Embiid, he's never really healthy. You have Steph Curry, one of the most impactful offensive players of all time, but on the defensive end, he's nowhere close to Giannis. So when looking at the best players in the world, the player with the best case to be crowned the best player is definitely Giannis, and I think going next year, he is 100% going to be wearing that crown as the best player in the world. And with that being said, I think we just saw the end of the LeBron James era, which went from 2012 all the way till 2020, winning his first championship at age 27 and his 4th at age 36. And the big time factor with LeBron James is definitely his age. I think Giannis right now is a more impactful player on both ends, and the defensive gap is definitely in Giannis' favor. Now, we're looking at the past 8 or so years. LeBron James has dominated the NBA like few players could. He made the finals virtually every year. He won 4 championships, 4 finals MVPs, and multiple MVPs. That is an all-time great run, and he definitely dominated 2010s as the clear-cut best player. And I think all during that time, LeBron James had the consensus crown as the best player in the world, whether he lost the championship or won. I think during that time, LeBron James, he was always considered the best player, and at worst, top 2. Now for Giannis right now, do I think he's better than LeBron James? Yes, I do. But all time, of course, LeBron James is still the greater player and has the greater accomplishments. And that right there is stating the obvious, but I think the better comparison, and the more apt comparison, is LeBron at 26 versus Giannis at 26. LeBron by age 26 played 2-time MVP, a 0-time Defensive Player of the Year, he made 2 finals, and he won 0 championships. And at age 26 in the playoffs, LeBron James averaged 23.7 points per game, 8.4 boards, 5.9 assists on 46, 35, and 76 splits. And that year in the NBA Finals, LeBron had his worst series of all time versus the Dallas Mavericks, only averaging 17.8 points per game, getting outplayed by Dirk as well as Jason Terry, and being the 3rd best player on his own team. And in Game 4, he had the worst game of his career, scoring only 8 points. So LeBron at 26 was definitely dominant, but he wasn't on the level of one Giannis Antetokounmpo. And even looking at Giannis versus the greatest player of all time, Michael Jordan, aged 26, made a 2-time MVP, a 1-time Defensive Player of the Year, he had made 0 finals, and he had won 0 championships. And at age 26 in the playoffs, he averaged 36.7 points per game, 7.2 boards, 6.8 assists on 51, 32, and 84 splits, and he lost in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Pistons in 7 games. And up to that point in Jordan's career, playoff-wise, he had very little if any success. He had been bounced in the first round 3 times, and he lost to the Pistons 3 straight years. So both Jordan and LeBron, at age 26, had some black spots on their legacies. And the same thing can be said for Giannis, as he himself has had his own playoff failures. But this year in 2021, there was no failure, as he averaged 30.2 points per game, 12.8 boards, 5.1 assists, 1.2 blocks, 1.0 steals on 57% shooting. And of course his Bucks team won the championship, something both Jordan and LeBron had yet to accomplish at that age. And we're looking at Giannis' basketball resume right now. He's a 1-time NBA champion, a 1-time Finals MVP, a 2-time MVP, a 1-time Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time All-NBA, 4-time All-Defense, a 5-time All-Star, and a 2017 Most Improved Player. So Giannis, age 26, is already a first ballot Hall of Famer, and in my eyes, a top 25 player of all time going off resume. And once again, comparing him at age 26 to LeBron and Jordan, he is better than they were from a basketball legacy standpoint at that age. And with that being said, once again, I think it's pretty clear, Giannis right now is the face of the NBA, and he is the best player in the world. And I think going forward, Giannis' attitude, his mentality, and his overall dominance on both ends, every NBA fan can appreciate what Giannis does. He plays all out like Westbrook, he doesn't sit games like Kawhi, and very similar to LeBron James at his peak, he dominates the game in multiple facets. And I think it's about time the NBA embraced the international player as the face of their league. And the last thing I'll say in this video, for any Giannis critics, I understand the criticism, and I understand Giannis isn't perfect, but I think at this point in time, he's a Finals MVP and an NBA champion, and he won 2 MVPs back-to-back, including the Defensive Player of the Year. At this point, you have to give it up to him as the best player in the world. Will that last forever? Probably not. Could it end next year? That's to be determined. But at this point in time, Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player in the world, and I'll keep saying that to the day someone dethrones him. So that right there is the video. I think the LeBron James era is officially over. It lasted from 2012 all the way to 2020, and during that point, he was the overall best player in the world, but now Giannis has taken that torch, and I think he's going to run with it for the next 5 to 7 years. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Giannis is the best player in the world? Is the LeBron James era over? And in 2021, did we witness the next all-time great superstar, the next potential GOAT in Giannis? Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.